Okay, well, let's today discuss about the topic sexual reproduction. So, as you all know, sexual reproduction means the process of formation of new individuals by the fusion of gametes. Okay, this process is also known as amphimixis. Okay, now here two particular gametes which are produced by two different organisms. Okay, or it may be produced by the same organism also. These two different gametes, that is the male and the female, will fuse together in order to produce a new type of offsprings. So this particular process is also known as amphimixis and sexual reproduction. The process of sexual reproduction, it produces a diploid organism. Okay, that means when we are considering the gametes are normally haploid, but when they fuse together they definitely produce a diploid zygote. Okay, now while we are studying about the sexual reproduction, we come across some of the important characteristics regarding this process. So first of all, before going into details of this process, let us just see what are the important characteristics of sexual reproduction. So first of all, it is a biparental process. That means it involves two parents, okay? A male and a female parent. There are two types of sex organs. Definitely, if fusion of gametes is considered, two different types of gametes are formed. So definitely here two different type of sex organs are involved. A male and female sex organ which will individually produce a male and female gamete. Then here meiosis is there. Now in case of asexual reproduction we have seen that meiosis is completely absent, but here meiosis is present. Okay, meiosis help to form the haploid cells. Then fertilization takes place. That means the fusion of gametes, and the daughter cells which are formed are genetically different from the parents, and it is a very slow process. Okay, now while we are studying about sexual reproduction, it is always considered better than the asexual type, because when here fusion is taking place, genetic recombination is taking place, that means here gene flow is taking in a population. Okay, two different organisms are fusing together, the gametes are fusing, so definitely here gene flow will take place among the organism individuals of a particular population, and these mixing of genes will help to maintain the vigor and vitality of the entire population. Plus, they will help in adaptation of the organism to the different changing environments, and the variation that is occurred, that particular variation may ultimately lead to evolution. Okay, so though sexual reproduction is a complex process, but still it is considered better than the asexual one because of these particular characters. Now the sexual reproduction, it may be mainly of two types. One is called syngamy and other is called conjugation. Now syngamy means the fusion of male and female gamete to form the zygote. Okay, now already you can see in the book, it is a complete and permanent fusion of male and female gamete to form the zygote. That means here two gametes will fuse together and ultimately result into zygote. This is again subdivided into endogamy and exogamy. Endogamy includes self-fertilization. That means it involves the fusion of male and female gamete of the same parent. That means the organism will be uniparental. As for example, hermaphrodite organism or monoecious bisexual organisms, okay, which will bear both the sex organs, and so within the same parent the fusion will take place. So this is called endogamy. For example, Taenia, tapeworm, okay, it is an example of endogamy. Then exogamy means cross fertilization, which involves the fusion of two gametes of different parents. That is, it is a biparental process. The organism is unisexual or dioecious. This is also known as cross fertilization. Okay, so under syngamy we find two different processes: endogamy, self fertilization, and exogamy, cross fertilization. Again, If we consider the type of gametes, the different structures of gametes that are fused, then based on the structure of gametes, it can be divided into isogamy, anisogamy, oogamy, and hologamy. Isogamy means here the gametes are similar, they are structurally, morphologically similar. Okay, both are flagellated and similar gametes. That's why it is known as isogamy. As for example, it is observed in case of Chlamydomonas, Pyrogyra, etc. Anisogamy means the fusion of gametes which involves a smaller male gamete and larger motile female gamete. Example, Chlamydomonas brownie. Okay. Then third is oogamy. Oogamy means the fusion of gametes in which the male is smaller motile and the female is larger non-motile. Okay. This we observe in case of Volvox, Fucus, etc. So again hologamy. In hologamy, two organisms fuse together. As for example, yeast. When we consider the yeast cell, then we see that both of them will fuse together. So that is called hologamy. Okay. So based on the structure of gametes, we can divide it into isogamy, anisogamy, oogamy, and hologamy. Again, the second type of reproduction, that is conjugation. Conjugation, it involves the temporary union. Syngamy is permanent union. This is temporary union, which includes the exchange of male and female pronuclei. That means the particular organisms will come close together, their common wall will dissolve, and they will ultimately exchange their nuclei. Okay, that particular process is called conjugation. Okay, which we observe in case of Paramecium, Spirogyra, etc. Okay, so these are the different types of methods of sexual reproduction which occur in different type of organism. So based on the type of organism, their type of fusing gametes, their structure of the gametes, it can be of this different types. Okay, so all of them are important. You have to know which is what type of which reproduction includes what type of process, their example, all these are important. Okay, now next we come to the differences between asexual and sexual reproduction. Okay, now you see here the first point is that it occurs in lower invertebrates and lower chordates and plants with simple organization. That means overall we can say that it occurs in lower type of organisms, while sexual reproduction, it occurs in higher type of organisms. Okay, then it is always uniparental. Asexual reproduction involves only one parent, while sexual reproduction, it involves two parents, biparental. Then in asexual reproduction, gametes are not formed, but in sexual reproduction, gametes are formed. Asexual reproduction, here no fertilization takes place, no fusion, but in sexual reproduction, fertilization takes place. It is an important process, isn't it? Then here mitosis is only the process of division, but here mitosis, meiosis, both are present. In asexual reproduction, the organisms are cloned, that means they are genetically identical, but in sexual reproduction, the organisms are genetically different. Now, asexual reproduction is a rapid mode of multiplication, but sexual reproduction is a slow process. Okay, it is not a rapid. Then, in asexual reproduction, as there is no genetic recombination, so definitely what happened, there is no variation. But sexual reproduction, here genetic recombination takes place. So definitely variation is observed in case of offsprings, and this variation leads to evolution of species. Okay. So the difference between asexual and sexual reproduction, this is a very important part. Okay. So you have to remember the points very properly. Next, let's go to the topic phases in life cycle. Now, while we are discussing the phases, we have already earlier studied about the juvenile or vegetative phase, which is the very early phase, reproductive phase, okay, then senescence. Now, as we are studying about the sexual reproduction, so let us go in details to the reproductive phase, which is the maturity phase. Now, when a particular organism has attained its sexual maturity, then we call it as puberty. Okay, now there are two types of flowering plants. While we are studying about plants, so there are two types of flowering plants as compared to their sexuality. One is called the monocarpic plant. Monocarpic plant means these plants flower only once in their lifetime. Okay, once they flower, they will die. For example, wheat, rice, etc. Okay, but while we are studying about the monocarpic, the two most important example that we have to remember is the bamboo species Bambusa tolda, okay, which flowers after every 50 to 100 years, and the Strobilanthes kunthiana nilakuranji, which flowers after 12 years. That means only once in their life cycle they will flower, and after flowering they will just simply die. So these are important examples, bamboo and Strobilanthes. These two examples also come in objective part and also in subjective part. So you have to remember the scientific name and the duration. Okay. Then polycarpic plant means they flower every year. For example, apple, mango, orange, then China rose, etc. These flowers which flower every year, those are called the polycarpic plants. Again, while we are studying about the animals, then we find two types of animal breeding processes. Okay, one are the seasonal breeders and other are the continuous breeder. Now, seasonal breeder mean those which breed only in a particular season. For example, birds, frog, lizards, okay, they breed only during a particular season. And continuous breeders means those which continue to breed throughout their sexual maturity. For example, cattle, humans, those are the continuous breeders. Okay, now in females of the placental mammals, okay, in while studying sexual process, we have already said it is a complex process, so we will get many terminologies regarding this process and many new concepts regarding this. Okay, so again, when we come to the placental mammals, we find two different type of cycles, reproductive cycles. One is called the menstrual cycle and other is called the estrus cycle. Okay, now these cycles actually indicates their sexual or reproductive maturity when the particular organism starts producing hormones. Okay, hormonal changes occur. So when the reproductive cycle in which hormonal changes take place is observed in case of primates. Primates means apes, monkey, humans, like that. So those organisms, then we call it as the menstrual cycle. And if it occurs in case of non-primates, then we call it as the estrus cycle. Okay, very simple. The reproductive cycle of primates is called menstrual cycle, and that of non-primates is called the estrus cycle. Okay, then the senescence phase is there, or the old age phase, aging phase, which the organisms, their hormonal changes take place and it has attained its old age. Now let's discuss about the sexuality of organisms. Again, while we are discussing the sexuality, we will get some again new terms. So first is homothelic. Homothelic means a bisexual condition. Okay, here the organisms or the gametes are morphologically and physiologically different, but they are produced to the same parent. Okay, that means the both male and female gametes are produced by the same gamete. That's why these are called homothelic or bisexual, as for example mucor. Okay, then heterothelic. Heterothelic means the particular condition in which the organism produces only a single type of gametes. The gametes are different. Okay, there is morphologically, physiologically, the gametes may not be different, but they are produced by different parents. In homothelic, they are different, but here it may not be different but are produced by different parents. Okay, that is unisexual. Example, Rhizopus stolonifer. Okay, so we have got two types. One is homothelic bisexual, other is heterothelic, unisexual. Again, hermaphrodite or bisexual. That means the particular organism will bear both the sex organs. As for example, earthworm, leech. These two are the names which are often asked in objective part. Okay, hermaphrodite organisms example. Then we come to staminate flower. In case of, if we are studying about the flowers, the staminate flower, that means the flower which will bear only the male flower. Epistillate flower, which will bear only the female flower. Dioecious plant, that means the plant which is bearing either male or female flower. A monoecious plant which will bear both the male and female flower. Okay, then antheridium, male sex organ in case of algae, fungi, bryophyte, like that. Archegonium or oogonium, the female sex organ. Okay, so these are all about the sexuality in organism. That means these are the different modes of or structures or the terms which we use while we are studying about the sexual reproduction of organisms. Okay, once we are clear with all these things, then we can directly study about the different events that takes place during the sexual reproduction process. Okay, so before going in details to the events of sexual reproduction, it is better you go through this video properly and go through the books, study each and every terminology, go through every terms, every example, every definition, what does each indicates. Okay, and if it is clear, then it will be easier for you to study the or understand the next class. So go through the video properly and hope up till this much it is clear to you, and if you have any problem, then do consult.